For more than 50 years, the world survived not because nuclear weapons disappeared, but because they were controlled. Two rival superpowers, enemies by ideology, history, and war, agreed on one thing. Some weapons are too dangerous to be left unchecked. But in 2026, that agreement vanished. No replacement, no limits, no inspectors. So how did the last nuclear arms treaty between the United States and Russia collapse? And what does that mean for a world already on edge? This is the story of New START, the treaty that kept nuclear war at bay, and why it couldn't survive the world we live in today. In August 1945, humanity crossed a line it could never uncross. Two atomic bombs destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, ending a world war and beginning a nuclear one. From that moment on, the threat of annihilation didn't come from invading armies, but from buttons, codes, and miscalculations. By the 1960s, the United States and the Soviet Union had built enough nuclear weapons to destroy the planet many times over. And then, in 1962, came the moment the world almost ended. 13 days, Soviet missiles in Cuba, American warships at the blockade line. One wrong move, one misunderstood radar signal, and history would have stopped there. When the crisis ended, leaders on both sides reached the same terrifying conclusion: we cannot survive like this. In 1972, something unprecedented happened. The US and the Soviet Union signed the first arms control agreements, not because they trusted each other, but because they feared the alternative. Treaties like SALT, ABM, and later START didn't eliminate nuclear weapons. They put guardrails around them, limits, inspections, transparency. For the first time, enemies allowed inspectors into their most secret military facilities. This wasn't friendship, it was survival. When the Cold War ended, the nuclear danger didn't vanish, but the opportunity to reduce it finally arrived. In 1991, the original START 1 treaty slashed nuclear arsenals dramatically. Thousands of warheads dismantled, missiles destroyed, trust cautiously rebuilt. But treaties expire, and by the late 2000s, a new agreement was needed. In April 2010 in Prague, Presidents Barack Obama and Dmitry Medvedev signed the New START treaty. It was designed for a new century and a new kind of nuclear risk. New START did three critical things: capped deployed nuclear warheads at 1,550 per side, limited missiles and bombers capable of carrying them, allowed on-site inspections and data sharing. This wasn't symbolic. It was mathematical, verifiable, enforceable. Together, the US and Russia controlled nearly 90% of the world's nuclear weapons. New START became the last pillar holding global nuclear stability in place. But treaties don't exist in a vacuum. By the mid-2000s, the global order was shifting. NATO expanded eastward. Russia felt encircled. The US pivoted toward China. Cyber warfare, hypersonic missiles, and AI entered military planning. Then came Donald Trump. Trump called arms control treaties bad deals. His administration withdrew from the INF Treaty in 2019.
Russia has jeopardized the United States' security interests, and we can no longer be restricted by the treaty while Russia shamelessly violates it.
One by one, the old guardrails fell. New START was spared, barely, extended once until 2026, but the foundation was already cracking. COVID-19 paused inspections. Then the war in Ukraine shattered what remained of trust. In 2023, Russia announced it would suspend participation in New START. Inspections stopped. Verification stopped. Dialogue froze. Each side blamed the other. Without inspections, the treaty became a promise without proof. And promises don't survive great power rivalry. When New START expired, something historic happened, and almost no one noticed. For the first time since 1972, there was no active treaty limiting US and Russian nuclear weapons. The United Nations warned the risk of nuclear conflict was the highest in decades. Russia said it would voluntarily respect limits, if the US did the same. But voluntary restraint is not law, and trust without verification is fragile. So why did it fail? Reason 1. Geopolitics arms control requires trust, and trust died in Ukraine. Reason 2. China. The US wanted China included. China refused, citing its much smaller arsenal. Reason 3. Domestic politics. Arms control lost priority. Defense spending gained it. Reason 4. New technology. Hypersonic weapons, missile defense, cyber warfare. Things New START was never designed to handle. The treaty didn't just expire, it became obsolete in a changed world. Without treaties, nations plan for the worst-case scenario. That means more warheads, faster launch systems, shorter decision times. And history shows us something terrifying. Experts agree on one thing. A new arms race is not inevitable, yet there is still time for dialogue, transparency, new frameworks, even informal ones. But time is shrinking, because once rebuilding begins, it's harder to stop than it is to start. New START didn't fail because peace failed. It failed because attention shifted, because fear replaced trust, and because the world forgot why these treaties existed in the first place. Not to protect nations, but to protect humanity. The treaty is gone. The weapons remain. And what happens next depends on whether the world remembers the lessons it once learned the hard way.